Today we are going to look into what feels really good. We are also going to drop into what doesn't. Now you may say, oh, this is super obvious. Why do we have to look into it? Well, because I came to conclusion that many people don't really know how that actually feels like. So they feel something and then they act on it, thinking that this is what it meant. And then I'm coming in as a coach and telling them, well, did you think about this possibility? And they're like, oh. They start to rethink their life on how they chose. And that's actually what I'm trying to show people, that sometimes we may think that we feel, or what we feel means this. We need to act accordingly. Like, I don't know, let's say running away, right? Let's assume you're getting triggered. What does that even mean? Well, let's say you are having a conversation and out of the blue, you're getting anxious. For you, it's not out of the blue, it's because someone said something and then you're saying, hey, you over here, you did something and that's why I'm anxious. But you see, most of those things we don't even see is that our body is very much included into the scenario I was just describing. And oftentimes these kind of situations appear as daily, casual, And when you explain the exact situation to someone else, they probably are not going to react the same way as you, right? Now let's assume they're not getting that anxious as you, right? Let's assume this really leaves them quite okay, quite in a cool state, right? Quite in a, end, right? Kind of like nothing happened for them. But you are reactive, very reactive. And instead of centering yourself again, and by the way, this is quite a skill, it's not something that you're doing naturally, because if you're trained naturally to, then, I don't know, let's say you are generally running away, you're scared, you're running away, right? This is quite an easy and not too much explained situation. So take it as it resonates, guys. What you always need to do is you need to drop into your heart and listen to what is true for you. So add this accordingly to your own situation, else it's not going to help you, okay? So just use it for your own. Another example could be that you are getting super angry with something. You're getting very emotional. That's another one. For example, you're waiting at the bus station and the person you were looking for is not coming to pick you up, or takes 10 minutes longer whatsoever, and your reaction is high peak, or how you feel is high peak. Okay, we are not at the reaction yet. So the emotional state is high peak. And you see, oftentimes what people don't realize is that is not really about, hey, I'm going into my destiny, I'm going into my potential, I'm going to drop into, I don't know, new ways of living. You know what this is, right? This is actually going into the karma state. And I'm just using and dropping words so you can feel into them, okay? So karma is rather, and it doesn't really matter if you are believing in it or whatever. So the sense is, or the idea behind this, that's what is important, okay? The karma is what is old. The karma is what you know. The karma is what was maybe painful too. But, and here is the crucial point, it also allows you to bring gifts into this present moment, right? It also allows you to bring in certain potentials from these places that you have once lived, right? And you could even go further back than this. You could say, like, okay, this has been past stuff, right? So whether you believe in it or not, actually for me, it's not really relevant. What is relevant though is that according to your reaction, when you drop into your heart and you question yourself, you're not doing anything, okay? You're just understanding something is happening. You're just understanding, oh, really feeling anxious here. Like it's really really getting me, right? I'm maybe shaking, I start to tear, maybe it's not visible at all and it's an inward process, but something is happening, or you're getting like this like super anger stuff that is coming from the deep stuff, and it's from the deep womb space, right? And it's coming up like and what you want to do is maybe right? So just stay with me for a moment in this situation, and I'm 100% sure that you know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm 100% sure that there are situations that you are remembering right now that were a bit over the top. And this is when honesty comes into play. Being honest, so honest about how you felt, right? There is no right or wrong, okay? It's about making a choice, right? So imagine this. You understand that the way how you react was maybe a bit too much. Actually, it's not the reaction, it's the emotional response, okay? So the emotional response you're having is a bit much for what has been presented, for what has been there. So the question is now, can you take a step backwards? Can you drop into your body? And can you ask the question, what is the truth here? What is it that I need to see? What is it that my body wants to tell me? Don't get into the mind space. It's not about the mind, because it's not about the logic. It's not about, oh, I shouldn't be so intense and I'm doing it wrong, blah, blah, blah. It's not about your mind, okay? The mind is useful, but at this moment, it needs to be volumed down, okay? You need to calm down your volume, okay? From the you don't want to hear it, because the body reacts very, very differently. And you see, you want to involve your body if you want to go to your destiny, right? If you want to go and unfold your potential, you really, really want to look into, why is my body doing stuff I don't really want to, right? Why is it constantly creating this kind of chaos? You want your body to be on board with your potential, right? You want your body to be there. You want your body, your heart, your mind to be aligned with your destiny, no? So you gotta work on your body too. The mind cannot go there. The mind is trying to put things into a box so it can categorize it, to kind of like label it, And this is what we are used to. This is what we are training a lot in school and whatsoever. This person is this and this person is this and this. And if a person falls out of the box, we are kind of like, okay, well, we are lost, right? This one is very experimental, very, very much about dropping into the heart space, opening up that heart space, and starting to understand what is it that I need to see here. So very often when I start this, you can do this in meditation, by the way, and generally speaking, we talk about situations from the past, right? We talk about situations that you can drop in from your past. This is not really a video about what you do when this exact moment is happening in the here and now, rather about this has happened to me yesterday, right? My body reacted, I overreacted, my emotions were all over the place. I don't know what was going on, but I keep seeing the same things over and over again. I keep feeling the same way. And when I share the story with someone else, and I'm sharing it with someone who is honest, and that person tells me, well, I wouldn't think that that's such a big deal, right? That's when you catch yourself. You see, maybe in the beginning you need some training to understand what's going on. So you may ask other people, hey, listen, this has happened to me. Do this in a safe space. Do this with people where you feel safe, not so they use that story against you, because oftentimes we are quite shameful about how we react, right? We quite feel embarrassed, maybe even. So you want to speak with someone who is trustworthy, and maybe not your family, okay? Sometimes people who are too close are not the best ones to help you heal, okay? To help you overcome. You also got this behavior from somewhere. You also trained this emotional state from somewhere. We don't know where from yet, okay? And maybe you have already an idea, and maybe you love your mom and dad and your sister and your brother. It doesn't really matter. But give yourself some peace, give yourself some space, allow yourself to breathe in this, okay? Allow yourself to breathe. That's really, really, really important and a real crucial step. So dropping into your heart, the next day, something like this happened. By the way, you can do this a year later or 2 years later. Maybe you only see it at that point, right? And you're kind of noticing the repeating cycle and you're kind of wondering what you can do. So here we go. Go into this meditative state, which is really about sit down, make sure you have a straight spine, and start to breathe in, start to breathe out, okay? Clear the blockages. And seriously, we always think that breath is kind of not so useful, or it hasn't so much power. Well, I tell you, you can go really, really deep into the healing spaces with breath, with journeys, with shamanic journeys, right? You can go really, really drop into every single cell while learning how to breathe and learning how to drop into your body. We are not used to it at all, and it may feel super, super uncomfortable. It may feel weird, but you see, your body knows what it does or what it needs to do. You don't need to know. You don't need to figure it out. It's not your job to know how this whole thing works, okay? You need to learn to trust that your senses, that your body, that your higher power, maybe whatever you're believing in, is coming to support you, is coming to giving you some love, right? Is coming to comfort you. You can even comfort yourself, right? Giving yourself some love, giving yourself some peace for doing this inner work, right? Giving yourself some gratitude really, really helps, okay? When I started this journey, and I know many clients of mine have this too, they're kind of like, okay, how can I distract myself? Let's maybe check out Netflix. And it takes them a while to really, really sit down and to really stay present, because that's actually what is required in this space. You need to be so present and so focused and so on point that you can let go of that, right? You see, your body will repeat this over and over again. Every single situation that you have experienced is coming again because it's trying to release itself. And we human beings are sometimes not ready, or maybe not interested, or whatever the reason is, right? We are not helping our body to release it, which is a shame. And not a shame in a sense of, hey, keep going and start working. It's about what is best for you, right? All of my videos are about, hey, what is serving this moment at the very, very best? How can I be more kind to myself? And this is not an ego trip. This is about, I'm dropping so deeply into my heart that I'm so ready to give, that I'm so openly giving, because I will receive equally. There is nothing that I'm doing that goes against me. I'm so into love and so into my own freedom that what I'm giving out is equally, you see? And people start to recognize that. But you're not doing it for them. You're not doing it to give them more, I don't know, love and peace in the first hand. You're doing it at the first time to give yourself something, right? In my point, or in my experience, it was like giving myself calmness and feeling safe and feeling love from deep within. You see, I felt rejected all my life, so I was experiencing over and over again where someone left me behind, where I felt left alone, left by the side. I felt not acknowledged for who I am. I felt unworthy, and I felt I have to always be the good girl. And so I constantly felt not good enough. I was constantly blaming and shaming myself. And this was also what you could see in the outer world, because that was how I would react, right? But if I start to release this from my body, I can actually help myself in such a high possibility that I can override my programming, okay, which then ultimately, if this all here is aligned, if this all is coming together, ultimately, I can then start to steer my mind and retrain. But if we are trying to just go here and we bring this in alignment, well, what is with the rest? What is with your soul? What is with your heart? What is with your body? It needs to be placed in alignment with where you want to go. And if you're all acting on some different ways, you're kind of like, oh, here, oh, here, oh, here, oh, no, down here. You know, you're everywhere. This means that you're not going your way. You're not truly who you are from deep within, because the way how you are moving forward or backwards depends, right? And I mean backwards in behaving like in the past, right? You may not want that anymore. You may want to look into things that really bring you joy. And generally, it's not about going back and living in the past. But you see, you grow up, you learn certain things, and you start to stay in your past. And this is not about shaming or blaming you, but this is to say that you're doing what you know and doing things that are in your potential, that are in your dharma, if you want. That's very uncomfortable, very, very much. You drop into dharma, on the other hand, right? And they're scary. They may feel exciting. They may feel super, super much joy, but they're scary. They're so scary because you don't know what's coming, and you can, or your mind is especially your mind. Your mind has no idea how to protect you. Okay? Your ego has zero clue how to protect you. And all the ego wants is to survive. So you have to train yourself to stand in waters that are a bit shaky, right? That are not so much in, I feel safe, I feel safe, I feel safe, which is basically how we look at life, right? I have a stable job, I have a stable partnership, even though it's not fulfilling, but it's stable. It's just from the outside stable. It's not really stable, right? So it's what we are giving out, what we label something as stable, as whatsoever. So the difference is to stand in something that is truly, truly, truly in your highest potential. But if you want to go there, and if you want to dive into those waters, you got to go first into the depths before you can go into the heights. Because you see, it's almost like only depending on how deep you can go, that's as well how high you can go. If you are only on the surface level, right? Sometimes this is why I'm saying to people, listen, I love coaching, but coaching itself is an opener. It's something I show people so they can work with it, right? They can with the mind, they can start to understand, and shifts can already happen, and the ripple effect is already there. But the way how you need to learn to reprogram your body, your mind, is really to include your body. You gotta start to love your body, because your body is the ultimate machine. And you wanna know how this body works. You wanna know how you can really drop into your heart, because that is where you can learn to feel different. And you see, it's interesting. When people are triggered and they have worked with me, for example, it's just a really good example, they start to notice different things. They start to see what's going on. They start to recognize that. Then they come in discussion with me. We start to look into the details. And then we start to look into approachable steps we can actually take for the next time something like this happens. And you know, when you're, for example, constantly triggered at work or with your partner, this is great. Use it as your playground. Don't be so harsh on yourself. Don't be so hard on someone else. If you want to feel or include the other person, and with work this is a little bit difficult, but let's say with your partner or with someone you love, and someone who may know that you know you're working on this field, you could even say, listen, I'm trying out something else right now, and I'm really a bit unsure how I'm doing. So if I'm stepping over your boundary, if I'm doing something like this, please don't take it personal. It's I'm just trying to make a shift here. I'm trying to make a change. I'm trying to really drop more into the truth of who I am. Okay, and so understanding too that who you are is not your triggers, who you are is not your wounding, who you are is not your past. Who you are, this is actually what you will experience when you drop more into your heart, because then you will see the essence of who and what you are. But that's something that needs to be experienced. You're experiencing who you are. You're not coming with your mind saying like, oh, I'm this, okay, label here. That's not how it works, I tell you. It's not working. So I really hope I put in quite a few tips and tricks there. I may even outline this one more time in a written form, so you understand a bit more on what you can do in a tangible way. But really, it's important to look into it and to see, okay, I'm feeling this. You know what? I just honor it. It's okay. I honor it. I'm not going away. I'm not running away. I'm not acting on it. I'm just looking at it. So before you do anything, try that. Because, and this is a secret, oftentimes this already helps. And oftentimes this is already enough. You don't need to go into big journeys, inner journeys, right? You can just allow yourself to feel and to accept whatever comes up. Accept the scary part that is there and know that your body knows how to transform it. You could even set the intention, help me release, please. Help me release the strong emotion I experience. Help me to let it go. And with help me, I mean your body, I mean source, I mean maybe if you work with God, whatever works for you. Seriously, this is just putting some words onto it, while words are never quite work like on the full spectrum, because someone from the right may not believe in God. They may believe in, I don't know, a waterfall, right? So they might vision a waterfall that is cleansing them. Hey, works wonderful, great, do that, right? Be experimental, do what works for you. If you feel, okay, no, I want to work with, I don't know, angels, go and work with angels. I don't care, really, I don't care, as long as it works for you. It doesn't matter. And this is the wonderful part. There is nothing to be judged the way how you do it, because your body ultimately will know. But what you need is the entry door. You need to know, how can I tap into those waters? You need to know, how can I go there and do that? Okay? Hey guys, have a wonderful day. Drop me in the comments how this has supported you. And I really want to know what happened when you really started to feel into your emotions. What happened with you? What happened with your body? What happened with the way how you feel? What happened an hour later? Let me know in the comment section, and we speak each other soon. All right, bye-bye.